Yeah, like I remember the times when Elijah would nap, and those days are long gone.
Yeah, I remember my parents trying or making me nap when I didn't want to when I was a kid. So they basically put me in my room, close the door, and okay, you don't want to nap? You stay in your room for 2 hours. Okay, on my Taurus side here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it's funny too because my mom used to say she's like she really couldn't punish me because she would send me to my room. I mean, that's where I wanted to be anyway. So,
Well, my mom, when she wanted to punish me, she sent me to the bathroom.
well, you know, as
Hey, James,
as men, that's where we spend most of the time anyway.
cat fun. Yeah, yeah, Marcos.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten into it today. I think we kind of ease our way into it. Um,
Yeah. So let me preface this episode, by asking you this. How long has it been since you received a handwritten letter in an envelope at your door?
Prior to the comic community, a long time, decades probably.
Okay.
But now, since coming into the comic book community, especially from this is
Hey,
what
Chop.
this one came last week.
Oh,
Handwritten note, and you appreciate that. You appreciate that. What about you? Uh,
today. Today
Today,
I received, after, I don't know, maybe 3 decades,
a
a
long time
handwritten letter from an unknown person.
from an unknown person.
Yes. And
Oh,
it goes
all right. Let's hear
to
it.
show,
Hold on. I think this
okay,
this is a first.
this is how it starts.
Oh, jeez.
Okay? With the pamphlet, What is the Kingdom of God?
Hold on. Just Ignacio. Do you have
Yeah.
do you have a moment to talk to me about Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior?
Yes, only if you have time for me to talk to you about Cthulhu, my Lord and Savior. And then it has a handwritten letter.
Handwritten.
Handwritten, man.
Wow.
And it's, of course, explaining who they are, that they live in the neighborhood, and what their goal is with this letter. And it has a verse of the Bible, and then an affirmation of that verse of the Bible, and then a couple of questions, and then they sign out and they leave their phone number.
Phone number too. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, can I ask you also? Does it ask you if you prefer to be simmered or sautéed before they eat you?
Well, they don't, but I think it's one of the things that can happen if you ever reply to that phone number or that letter, because nowadays, unprompted, a handwritten letter unprompted at your doorstep, I think it's a sign of a crazy person.
Do you?
I mean, this person, I'm gathering, if I may be bold enough to uh, speculate, this person didn't write only one
Mhm.
letter, because if they leave one here, they might have left a couple more on down the block.
And yeah, why not just your house? I hope. I hope they.
No, yeah.
I hope they recommend
So
you. Yeah. Hmm.
so either or you are crazy, or you have a lot of times in your hands, a lot of idle time. You have nothing to do, and you're waiting for someone to answer your call to eat them. To me, my first reaction was, okay, this person is crazy.
Hmm.
Is this drugs or mental illness?
Which would be the normal, just normal discarding of something like this. You just don't pay attention.
Yeah. So it baffles me the amount of time this person put into this letter, because it's beautifully written. The hand, the calligraphy is really good,
Yeah, looks good.
and it's, I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of think about all the movies you've seen where all the crazy killers have this typewritten stenography where
Yeah,
it might be 10,000 words on the front of one loose leaf page like that. I don't know. Maybe it's so easily discounted as something crazy though, but I think there might be that small percentage where somebody takes comfort in
yeah,
their religion and they just want to spread it to other people. But
yeah, and it makes me think about it, because this person took the time to write this letter by hand.
right. And you might want to ask your neighbors if they've gotten them also,
Yeah,
because if not, I would hold that axe a little closer
yeah, and
to your
I
people.
shouldn't have touched it with my bare hands. I should have used gloves.
Mm, yeah, it's a crazy world we're living in. Crazy.
Yeah, but well, that's the stereotype.
God, I love this guy. All right, so let's get to the intro. Let's finish saying hello to everybody who's gotten here first, and then we'll do the regular stuff. We said hello to Cat Fan. Congrats on
Yeah,
hitting 200. Hello.
nice.
Face.
Congratulations.
Six Face. Hello.
Sixth.
We Dracula. We
Oh,
may or may not have something coming up with Dracula.
oh, don't say that. We have something coming up.
Yes, stay tuned. Stick around. Let's see what else. We said hello to Marcus, Brother Joe the Legend, Kenneth
Hello,
Bird.
hello.
So
Ken.
yeah, it could be. It could be. My skepticism is just the fact that I wouldn't put it past a man to write the Bible. Well, we're not doing religion today, but he could write the Bible just to further his own agenda. But we're here to talk about men and women today. So let's get to our intro, and then we'll dive right into it. We're not getting canceled today. I'll say we're not.
Oh, I was aiming for that.
How you doing? Yeah!
Happen with these, and I do not know what the grade is yet. So we are going to find out together. Most likely a 9.8, but man, fingers crossed that it hits one of those higher numbers as well. So let's see. You get to see before I do. Let's see. Oh, yes! Yes! Oh my God! Yes! Yes!
You about to get plugged, dude.
Always a good time. Deuce. Hello.
Hey, they do those.
All right, yeah. So,
No, you skipped Remy. You skipped Remy.
was Remy here?
Yeah, he just arrived. Better late than never, or something like that. Yes.
Oh, there he is. You know why? Because he's been on me lately. This is clearly a new room.
Is it though?
God damn it. It's not a decal.
There you go, Remy. Clip that motherfucker.
I know what I know what they look like too, Q.
Hey, DJ. You arrived just in time.
Yeah, if you guys have not seen this past week's Whack Comics, go check it out. Good times
Yes.
were had by all except for Alan Rue. Made it all the more enjoyable.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna rue the day he's asked to come back to Wack Comics.
Okay, so you right before we hit the intro, you had a very nice segue into
Yes.
stereotypes.
Yeah, the base of my conclusion that this person that wrote me this letter by hand is crazy. It's based on a stereotype, of course, because I don't know this person. I'm just basing my conclusion towards this person on the fact that they gave me a handwritten letter on the year 2022.
Unprompted, asking to talk about your Lord and Savior. Hey, so
And I don't know this person, of course.
yeah, I would definitely check to see if your neighbors got them.
Mm-hmm. Louis.
Louis. So do you prefer simmered or sauteed? Is it the same thing?
I don't know. I think simmer is it doesn't involve oil, and saute involves oil in
Or
my
butter?
mind.
Hmm.
I don't know. Well, there's a stereotype for you. Dudes don't know shit about cooking.
Okay, so Ignacio is obviously trying to get me to talk about it, so we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Oh yes, let's go for cancellation, baby.
Hey, and here's I trust Drac when it comes to cooking.
Excellent.
Were we talking about this last week when we came up with the topic? I don't remember
Yes.
how it got started.
It started because we were talking about the amount of talking we do during the week. Do we talk enough?
Right.
Do we communicate enough among each other? Because we talk for an hour here every week, but maybe during the weeks we thought, because we both were thinking about this subject and you brought it up in the green room basically, and we both were thinking about should we talk more? Are we talking the right amount of time about the right amount of things to consider ourselves, I don't know, friends and or whatever. We were overthinking our communication.
Yeah, and then my thinking was that guys don't really talk. I don't understand what that means. Like the stereotype is guys will typical conversations on phone, like, hey, what's up? What's going on? We'll meet here. All right, cool. See you later. That's the extent of it. Like for me, it's like I have a friend who I've known since the 4th grade, and our conversations that's a long conversation on the phone, if that.
Yeah.
But I speak to several members throughout the community, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, I talk to him on a weekly basis," or "I spoke to so and so the other day. We talked for like an hour and this." And I'm like, I consider, especially you, like a good friend, a good friend.
So do I.
We've never met in person, but that doesn't
No.
matter. That doesn't matter one iota to me. I've never met this guy. But if I were to meet him at Planet Comic-Con one day when he can finally get a day off and give him a hug, it would feel like, like a warm
yeah,
so
and that was a part of our analysis. Is
Mhm.
that a female trait if we are like that, or is it still a male trait? And that from that conversation stems the subject of today, that is the stereotypes of men versus women. And you're in for a ride, Nick, because I'm not usually in the male side of stereotypes. I usually tend to go to the female side of stereotypes
okay,
towards
so
my life.
expand on that. What are some of the female stereotypes you attribute to yourself?
No, it's not that I attribute them to myself. It's not that I consciously or unconsciously go towards that. It's that the world reacts to what I do stereotypically as if I was more female inclined than male inclined. Because even my mom during my childhood. Maybe it's because she raised me more than my dad. Uh, she thought I was more feminine than masculine, and I have friends, women, that see me as their gay best friend because they don't see me as a stereotypically male. You know, so I and maybe it's because I was raised by my mom more than my dad that I I have maybe a different vision of what male and female stereotypes are, and then I go against the stereotypical male paradigm.
Okay.
I don't really know. It comes from the other. It doesn't come from me. The stereotype doesn't come from one self usually. It comes from the world reacting to not knowing what you feel, what you are, what you do in your life. Because if they knew exactly, they wouldn't need the stereotype. For example, I'm a good listener, and I'm not aggressive. I can have. I am not aggressive when it comes to hitting up on women. You know, I can have a female as a friend, and I can separate things. You know, so that's not what usually happens.
Okay, so is that differentiation calculated by attractiveness?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, yes, it's calculated by attractiveness, but it's not the visual attractiveness. It's the fact that I'm always overthinking something, and when I'm usually at the beginning of a relationship with someone, I, based on the stereotypes that I perceive from this person, I basically do an analysis and say, okay, this person can be a friend, an acquaintance, or I would like to take it further. And it has happened. Yeah,
Fill some holes, so to speak.
exactly. So with women, it happened to me that I have considered, because the first approach is always because you're attracted to the person. But then, okay, no, this is not gonna work. And either it's bye-bye, or either, okay, let's be friends.
Okay. I don't. I've kind of been like the kind of person who just goes into something and just whatever happens, happens. Unless, I'm not attracted at all, even subconsciously. Yeah. And I don't lump in between. I mean, when it comes to females too, it's always been, yeah, I'm cool. I can just be your friend, fine, yeah. But if the situation presents itself,
then you're not a friend.
Yeah,
no, then you're not a friend. You're a friend with benefits.
If it never happens, I don't not talk to the person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's another stereotype from me. So, I mean, friends don't fuck. That's a stereotype. Friends can't fuck. I know of people that are friends and they fuck, or they have fucked.
But
they remain friends.
Okay, so that ruins that dynamic forever, you think?
I don't know. I don't have friends to whom I fuck with.
Okay, so I'm on the opposite side. So I've got plenty of friends now who I've either dated for a long time and then we're just cool. We're just not, But we're similar in the fact that the way we've been raised. My dad was not around. Drac wants to know.
Oh, you know if I'm hitting on you, Drac. Don't worry.
Find out soon. My dad was not around much, and on my mom's side of things, she's got 4 other sisters, and I've spent a lot of time. So I would say that I'm raised by women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is what it is. It's what you have.
Yeah. Yeah. And then sometimes the women kind of alter their responsibilities, I guess stereotypical responsibilities based on the shit they got to do.
Yeah.
So, where was I going?
Yeah, and sometimes these stereotypes come from your environment, your culture, and stereotype is it's usually a negative term to use, but I tend to think that stereotypes are good for some things, like for example, what brings us together, comic books. If you use a stereotype inside the pages of a comic to get a concept across clearly to the reader, then it's a well-used stereotype. But then again, it wouldn't be a stereotype, but maybe it's an archetype. You know, that's the subtle difference between stereotypes, archetypes, and tropes. There's a subtle difference that, of, in this case, how you use them. And then again, stereotypes tend to be negative.
Okay. So we've attributed that one stereotype. Did we talk enough?
I think so. I think we were overthinking it.
Yeah.
We talked the right amount of talking we need to do to get things across, to
And I mean, aside from this 1 hour a week, we chat throughout the week. Sure. I don't feel any less close to you.
no, and neither of those things makes us either more or less masculine.
Right. Okay. What was the other one? Oh, and being raised by women. The stereotype has been attributed to me that I'm a good shopper. This may or may not be true. I like to shop. I do. It does change focus. Like at one point it was clothes. Always it's been sneakers. Lately it's been comic books. But they attribute people that stereotype to being raised by women.
Yeah, well, I've been raised by women. My mom and my aunts, they were in the picture. Not that my dad wasn't, but I don't like to shop at all. Not even for me.
See, and then you're just
There,
like
Marcus.
You hate it. I'm like DJ. My wife hates it.
See, stereotypes are bad, people.
It's just this antiquated notion that I think it's our parents who still linger about. I guess some pockets here in America too that are just people. This is the way they were raised, and they kind of hold on to that type. You know,
It's our biases.
So,
and sometimes these stereotypes, what they basically are telling you is that you need to examine something of your worldview, of your mindset. If you have a stereotype and you don't know where it comes from, or you know where it comes from, but it doesn't have to really mean to you what it meant to the people that pass it on, you know, then you need to analyze, okay, is this a reality or is this a bias that I inherited from someone else?
Uncomfortable silence as I think about that.
Well, I can feel uncomfortable silence. I can feel that hole.
I'm cool with it too. Oh, so you touched on a point too earlier about talking to women. Now, how do you feel in the past, should a woman have approached you? How you would deal with that? What do you feel about that? Or is it up to the man to make
No,
the first move? No, you're good, Remy.
we're still talking about it. No, I don't think it's up to the man. But if I'm interested, I'm gonna let them know. But I don't mind if the woman makes the first move or makes it clear that there's an interest. It's all part of the game, you know. I like the fact that there's a part of seduction and a game, that the innuendo, it's a part of the ritual, but it doesn't have to come from anyone in particular.
Nope, I agree.
But I know that there is a stereotype that that men tend to take the first step, and I mean, it tends to be like that because men are more lecherous than women.
Lecherous.
Do you like that word?
I do.
I've been saving that one for years to use it in a sentence.
Would you say you're a predator?
First appearance of predator.
Nice.
Which, just like me, I am also a predator, but of the sexual variety.
There you go. I'm almost like Remy now. I need to build up a library. What is a woman? Oh, well, let's talk about it.
What is a man? We should talk about what we know. What is a man? We are men, so we should talk about what we know. We shouldn't talk out of our asses about what being a woman means. Or are we going for cancellation and we are going to talk about what it means to be a woman being white males?
Let me ask you a question. I like being in this community and speaking to the people I speak. Do you not want to talk to anybody anymore for something that you said?
No, I don't know.
Hey, you know, and I think our, yeah, we know. I think our viewership and our community know us well enough that we don't give off that vibe. Like, well, then again, do you truly know somebody so far? I don't know.
That's what I mean. And when you do, aren't you willing to push them to become a better person?
Yeah, but if their beliefs are their beliefs.
Yeah, I know. But yesterday, for example, I have a couple of friends, but these two guys in particular that we got together yesterday. One of them came back from Spain. He was living there for 5 years, and the other one was still here. And we got together after years of not being the three of us talking, and we talked for hours on end. And we pushed each other constantly. Okay, you're fucking up. We're constantly trying to make the other one look at their own bullshit. And I was the target of so many commentaries yesterday.
That's what friends are for.
Exactly. I rather come from a friend than an unknown person.
I expect it from my friends, and I think too. This is the thing too about the combo community is like you're in several group chats, and when I tell you, Ignacio, that I welcome what you say to me, rough or smooth, I just appreciate it from you. So
yeah. Yeah, that was the main thing yesterday is okay, let's set the rules. This is going to happen. I mean, let's all be clear that we are pushing here and let's enjoy it. Let's laugh at each other, but also push each other to be better, cut with the bullshit.
Let there be truth in it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a stereotype, and here we go again, that friends are unconditional. And that's bullshit. Friends shouldn't be unconditional. The friendship needs to be conditional on the fact that you need to be a good friend. You need to be a good person. I don't want to be friends with an asshole. I don't want to be friends with a bad person. I want to be friends with a good friend. I don't want to be, and I will point it towards myself. I don't want to be an accomplice to your bullshit. I want to be a good friend that calls out your bullshit, because your bullshit is what's bringing you down, basically. It's what's preventing you from achieving your full potential. To put it in some words.
Yeah. And this comment, this comment right here is what I mean. It's like I know that anything I say or do is potential for somebody else. So, yeah. And in terms of what a man is, what a woman is, I mean, aside from the normal biological stuff, for me, and I think this is the only role it takes full effect in. As a father, I am expected as a man to provide and do whatever it takes to make sure that my family is protected.
Yes.
That's it. Otherwise, you know what? My wife can go get the car washed. She can go fill it up herself with gas. I'm not.
Yeah, but she also provides, because she also works, and she also, I don't know, stereotypically women cook more than men. So there are some parts of the stereotype that still are true, and that would make them an archetype rather than a stereotype. The stereotype is when you don't know bullshit, don't know shit about what you're talking about. You're basically prejudging someone based on your own stereotype of what that person should be. And being a man also carries a lot of stereotypically charged behaviors, situations, actions. You should provide, yes, but in today's world, maybe your wife should provide too. Maybe she should be able to provide. So that's a stereotype that doesn't really work.
Mm-hmm. I mean, shit, stuff is so expensive now. It takes two people most of the time. So,
yeah.
Other stuff, I should be mowing the lawn and doing yard work. I can't stand that stuff.
I fucking hate that, man.
And my wife is out there like a trooper pulling weeds every day.
Yeah, my wife likes that too. Because, I mean, mostly because she likes the garden in the front yard looking nice. I don't really give a damn about it.
I'd rather pay somebody to do it.
Oh, yeah, of course. I've been telling her that since day one.
Mm-hmm.
We can pay, and she tells me, what are we, millionaires? No, we have the money. We can pay someone to cut the grass, and we eventually end up doing it.
Mm.
Because I refuse to do it.
That's how you win an argument too. You wait the other person out.
Yeah. Oh, and that's because also I feed the stereotype that artists are lazy, as if that was real.
No, I don't label that artists. When you say artists, I mean creative people in general are, like, in my meeting of them, are a little off kilter.
Yeah.
Or a normal uncreative person like me. Because
that's your stereotype.
Yeah.
Those both stereotypes. You are stereotyping yourself as non-creative when there's plenty of examples that you are, but you don't exploit it because you're a good storyteller. I have congratulate you sometimes in the way you tell a story, and that's you need to be creative to tell a story properly and hook a person.
On
And
the
you're
on the opposite side, I've also been ridiculously harassed for the way I tell a story because it's so terrible.
well, it takes. I mean, it's like everything. It's a skill. If you don't put time into it, you don't put your 10,000 hours, then you don't become a master. You're an amateur.
10,000 hours.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you were thinking about DJ's Bush,
Yeah,
don't you?
It's hard not to because it is so nicely manicured.
Yeah. Do you like the Bush manicure DJ, or but you manicure it yourself, or someone else does it for you?
I think you probably have somebody else do it for him.
Yeah. So, for example, I remember one time my friend Julieta was moving houses, and I always tend to help people with their moving because I'm very organized for when a move comes, as we talked before.
Mhm.
And the house she moved to had, I don't know, there was a socket that was off. So I basically took some tools and I started fixing it. And she told me, "Oh, no, no, don't do that. That's too manly. You're not that like that." And I said, "Fuck you. Stop putting me in a box. I'm not your gay best friend. I'm your best friend, just in case, in any case." But that is her stereotype of me. She needs to think about me as as a non-threatening man, you know, because maybe most men are threatening to her or predatory to her.
Should I play it again?
So, oh yes, of course, every time. No, but to answer that question that you made before you played DJ's clip. Yeah. I don't consider myself a predator, but I had to change my ways during my teens because I wasn't achieving my goals and I wasn't getting any pussy. Sorry, did I need to clarify that?
No.
Okay. Because I was so non-threatening that I was always being friend-zoned.
Friend zone, yep.
But absolutely friend-zoned. And I was so okay with that because I knew it was it was me that wasn't making the move. So if it doesn't happen, it wouldn't happen if I did the move anyways. But then I started changing my ways and becoming more male, more masculine in that aspect, and became more assertive with my intentions. That changed everything.
Oh.
So coming closer to the stereotype of a man, it helped me to achieve more male-oriented things, if that's the case.
Yeah, it's just so weird how stereotypes don't work for people. Stereotypes work for people. Like there are those women out there who want that stereotypical definition of a man. But they only want the good parts. They don't realize with the good parts, they want the aggressiveness and the assertiveness, but they want it just to be focused on them. And that's usually not the way it happens.
Yeah, and now reverse it. We want the hottie, and stereotypically, the hottie is crazy. But we want the female, we want the woman, we want the feminine woman, but Well, if it's too feminine, maybe it's a problem. I don't
And
know.
then you have to worry about the care and the preparation it takes to have that. Nails, hair, beauty
Well,
regimens, all that other junk.
yeah, that's why I don't ask my wife, for example, that to do anything I wouldn't do on myself. For example, I keep myself clean, not shaven because I don't want to shave, but I'm a clean person. I do some manscaping, so I can maybe ask the same from my partner, from
Mm.
my wife, because if not, I'm a hypocrite. But it's not stereotypically uh, that the male. Well, nowadays it's more commonplace that men are more. Uh,
Again, tune in to this past Tuesdays when Find Out with Alan Ruse toenail clipping. Who that gets done by?
Dude, that was a good pedicure.
See, for me, I would never get it done.
I, you know what? I would, but I'm ashamed of my feet, so I wouldn't put my feet on someone else's face and tell them, "Hey, do this,
And
make them look pretty."
be careful. Remy's in the chat. Be careful.
Oh no, I'm considering seriously sending them to him. Just okay, here are my pics, dude. There you go. Don't try to scour the internet for them. Here they are.
Thank you very much for that information, DJ. Appreciate it.
And I do too, but I don't know. Like I started like 10, 15 years ago. I didn't do it previous to that. And then one day it clicked. If I want my girlfriend or whoever, my wife, whoever may be the case in that period of time, to be, I don't know, shaved or groomed, or I should be groomed too. There's no equality, and if I want equality in the, I should provide it. You know? Hey, Kyle.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's so weird.
We do, Dan. We do.
Because my wife has stereotypically manly traits. Like she does the yard work. She doesn't like to cook. I think as people, we just got to realize that there are components of everything and everybody.
Yeah, and that's why I want us as a whole, as a collective, as a human race, to eventually achieve the grade of enlightenment or whatever, in which we realize that we are all fucking human, no matter gender, no matter sex, no matter race, no matter, because I think it was Richard Pryor who said it, that it's hard enough to be a human, let alone, well, he was a black comedian, so there was that charge also, the racial inequality that he was suffering, because he was talking about this probably in the 70s, 60s. So, but in the end, I hope we can get to a point in which we all become human, and the stereotypes, well, they tend to dilute with time, more now than ever that we have this internet thingy.
Hmm. Do you think that enlightenment happens anytime soon?
No.
And without any aid from conditioning or outside force,
What do you mean, aliens?
mind control aid?
I mean, are we
Werewolves.
mind controlled? No, werewolves don't do that. Don't go for that. Werewolves don't care.
The lecherous
Either you are a werewolf or lecherous lycanthrope. Isn't that a mouthful?
That's what she said.
Oh shit! Why couldn't he say it?
He
Oh,
can. Why
I'm
am I
gonna
being
start.
stereotypical there?
That's what he said.
Yeah, see,
There you go.
there you go.
But
All right.
also, well, I think that we are already conditioned, and that conditioning helps because we have more voices nowadays, and those voices give us more points of view to absorb information, to have the at least the semblance of freedom of speech and freedom of thought. That's another discussion. To think, okay, this is wrong or this is outdated, let's update the stereotype because it's always a new stereotype. It's not going to be an actual truth. It's going to be another stereotype, but maybe it's less harmful, which would be good.
Yeah, I think that's the component I'm hoping for. To be less harmful.
Yeah.
Is what I'm hoping for in the end. So
Is your screen changing? Oh no, you made it change. Okay. There was something going on in the background, and I said, okay, does Nick have a ghost in his technology?
there he goes. No, it's either that or speak directly into my watch and respond to my wife. So yeah.
Hey, Kyle.
Sure, definitely deconditioning is an important aspect of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And sometimes you need to deprogram yourself from what your family taught you, because sometimes they fuck up without even knowing, just because they come from another time, you know, and things were different, or they didn't know what things were going to be in the future.
You know, it's funny that you say that this topic has come up because I told you Monday night I was not feeling well. I had what I thought was food poisoning, but I didn't rule it out. I think it's funny because of the age that I'm at right now. Is like you always got to consider, hey, this could be a little bit something more serious than food poisoning.
Yeah.
So nowadays I feel compelled when I have a thought to follow through with it because you just never know.
Nice.
And conditioning, I saw a quote the other day that I thought was very important. I just want to read it because I have this book here that I've written for Elijah for a while since he was born, just to tell him some of the stuff that I can't verbalize, and just to know stuff like that. So in the end, and I think conditioning from families was this part, but kind of apologizing to him and saying, I'm sorry for the unhealed parts of me that in turn hurt him. You know, so all the shit that my father did, you know, and that he brought on me that I was never able to fix, that I put on him. I was sorry for that. It was never a lack of love for him. It was more of a lack of love for myself. So I think that's the conditioning aspect of it is key.
Yeah.
And doing away with it. And I think you kind of, I think breaking apart and really experiencing your own independence is a big part of it. So you can just get away from what that family thought and idea and conversation or conditioning was, just to experiencing what yourself really is. So
yeah, what you make with what they did with you, and then you become your own person. But I want to make note that you almost made me cry right there. So I wonder if there's someone else crying. Now I'm crying, DJ. I knew it.
He does a good job of hiding it, though.
I did a good job. Did anyone notice I was about to cry?
I think
No,
I think we're all close.
men
Is,
don't cry.
is that a feminine stereotype? Is that
That was indeed a feminine stereotype. Women cry, men don't cry.
and I think that's one especially that on the
Yes,
surface that needs to get done away with because there are so many layers underneath that attach to that. It's not only
yeah,
the
men.
crying, don't feel this way, don't feel that way, don't feel this way. And we tend to bottle that stuff up inside
Yeah,
until
and we need to cry. We need to cry because, as you said, in the surface, it's okay. Men don't cry. Okay, you don't cry, but whatever. But then, if you don't cry, basically you're suppressing your emotions. And if you're suppressing that emotion, you're maybe suppressing the other emotions that go to that level. Because when you cry, you're overwhelmed by an emotion.
see, and
So,
what's so ironic about that is the fact that you're not crying back then leads you to believe that you're a strong person.
yeah.
And it's really the opposite. You know what I mean? If you can have your emotions and deal with them and let them be felt when they need to be, then you're a strong person in my eyes. Not being able to suppress it and not let it affect you because it always affects you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
having the ability to deal with it and show up people how you feel. That's true strength, I think. So
Yeah, that men don't cry stereotype, it's really noxious in raising kids in how do you say when you make something go on in time uh, that is negative is affecting everyone in a bad way.
yeah.
I don't know, Six. I
No,
don't know. I think we are easily manipulated all the time, but when we are emotional, we are more open to emotional manipulation. But dude, we are being manipulated constantly by technology, by algorithms about consuming things, and we are not even questioning it. So we are clay in the hands of the powers that be. When you are vulnerable, well, maybe what I try to do is when I cry with someone that's not going to fuck me up.
okay.
Exactly. So you want to be maybe more, or that's what I do. I cry when I feel that I can't let go, and I feel that no one's going to judge me, or either I don't feel judged, or hey, lady, how are you?
It's funny that Lady F brought this up because I was watching. Who was I watching yesterday? I was watching Two Bears, One Cave, and they're talking about this guy. And if you guys don't know about Andrew Tate, I think he's gotten himself in trouble for a long time
Yeah, he
about
got deplatformed.
about having that strong, masculine, stereotypical like. Go check
The
him out.
problem,
I forget the name of his. What's the name of his podcast?
no, he got deplatformed.
Did he?
I think so, and rightfully so, because apparently he's a human trafficker.
Well, I didn't hear all that part about it.
I heard something like that.
I
I
didn't hear
mean,
all that.
the character he puts out can be funny if there's not the real part that apparently there is,
Yeah,
because
it's
it can be a character, apparently it isn't. So he's truly a piece of shit human being. So there you go.
yeah, I didn't see that part of it. But I mean, since
Yeah,
I've been introduced to him and I was introduced to him through the Your Mom's
the
House
YMH. Yeah,
podcast. Yeah, so it's always been that radical, masculine, just berserk stuff. So
yeah, yeah,
pretty funny.
yeah. It's so ridiculous that it's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
A woman should clean unprompted. What an asshole.
I know. If I said some of that stuff, I have to say it laughingly in my house. Otherwise,
You're getting the chancla, bitch.
yeah, more the wooden one, no less, no less. There's his boy. I'm gonna segue.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna segue not so easily to your sexy suggestions of the week.
Okay. There's a very particular sexy suggestion that it's very feminine.
Yeah, that'll be the last one in this. Well, it'll be next to last, but we'll talk about Granite State Punk, Breaking
Yes.
Edge.
Yes, this is issue 2 of Travis Gibbs and Patrick Vermeyer, Granite State Punk. It's basically an addict that gets out of jail and has to deal with the death of his parents, his alcoholism, and some magic bullshit that is happening in his life. And I have to tell you, this is the best thing Travis Gibb has ever written. I have read all, not all, but most of his stuff, and he says it, and I agree with him. This is the best thing he has written. It's very personal, but it has magic, it has monsters, but there you have this dude dealing with his addiction and with the loss of his parents while living in his dead parents' house. So it has a lot of emotional charge, but it has action, magic, and monsters.
How could you want anything more?
Exactly. Then again, we have Magic Powder here, number 3. Close to funding, close to ending, but it's gonna fund for sure. This is a great comic. This comic is basically The Godfather meets Lord of the Rings, or something like that, because it's fantasy, and but it's in a world where fantasy has evolved from the medieval times into the modern times. So there's all these fantastical creatures and there's magic, but there's also mafia, and there's cars, and there's weapons, and there's hitmen, and there you have it in the cover. Dwarves are drilling a hole with a giant drill, a mechanical drill, and on top of them there's a minotaur with a Gatling gun. What more can you ask? Drugs, violence,
Gatling guns.
Gatling guns, and the art. The story is great, and the art goes perfectly with it. Beautiful art, and you can get, if you back at some level, I think you can get into the comic as a character,
which is my dream.
Well, you know what? We can talk about this because I'm not going to say anything very clearly, but I made you a character in a comic already.
Now, this final one caught me because of the cover. It was kind of like, I was like, what is that she's holding there?
So stereotypically male.
Yeah, well, some things just stir the emotions.
Yeah, so this is Sharp Wit and the Company of Women. This is an anthology, a huge anthology, 150 pages of multi-genre women-centric stories. Basically, women with swords, women with weapons. And my good friend Elizabeth McKeeds is leading here with her art. I think most of the creators in this anthology are they find themselves in the LGBTQ community. I think so. I think it's one of the things of the identifies the creators. But basically, it's badass women in different genres. And I've seen one of the comics, the one Elizabeth did while she was doing it. We share this kind of thing, we artists. And if her art is on par, or the other artists are on par with her, it's going to be an amazing book. Do you hear me burp? Or I managed to heal to hide it in my words.
Yeah, I think nobody will win, or nobody has won as of yet. It's the epic struggle between good and evil, with both men and women changing sides. So
I think you know who will win eventually? Aliens. You know the aliens that they have all smooth surfaces. They don't have uh, facial or body characteristics of either one gender or the other. Because
maybe,
basically, I think aliens are humans from the future that basically they went past those stereotypes and those characteristics and became all one gender, one species, one race, one, and what that's why they all look the same.
but they can all bleed.
Yes.
And speaking of bleeding, we have the final entry as usual. We have the Links, DJ Link Shop, where our own very own Ignacio has not only this entry, there is also another entry, which here it is here.
Yes, and this is all in benefit of the Hero Initiative. Thank you, DJ, for making this happen, because I only did a silly drawing of DJ's logo, and he made this happen, and he made me choose the benefit. How do you say? Well, I don't know.
But
So thanks, DJ.
there is also this now.
Oh, I didn't know.
I campaigned long and hard for it. Do you hear me, Mark? Long and hard I campaigned for it. Yeah, it's just been so much on community t-shirts lately. I got to get there's a few other t-shirts in here, but check out djlinks.shop for other fantastic designs as well, and the Iggy collection, as I so lovingly call it, which benefits the Hero Initiative, to benefit artists and content creators for comic books. May not be doing so well and dealing with some other issues, but yeah, go check that out. Great store.
Of course.
Great stuff.
I still have to select my win from there. I don't forget.
Oh yeah, you also have a slab coming your way, don't you?
Oh, that's right, my first slab.
Your first one?
Yeah, I don't have a slab. Why would I?
Are you gonna put it right there next to the thermostat?
I have to.
Okay.
I have to put it somewhere because it's my first lab and it comes from DJ. So it has a lot of emotional charge.
It does. Yeah, with that being said, I think this weekend I'm definitely having a community garage sale Sunday morning.
Oh, it's back.
Yeah, it's back finally. Yeah, where I may be auctioning some stuff off to get the stuff to you finally. He wants to see Iggy crack it.
No,
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I think I will do the FOC tomorrow. Finally back up to normal. Office is pretty much done. I'm fully relocated. I'm actually wondering where I'm going to put some stuff in the future, but I think that's about it.
Have you thought about putting things hanging from the ceiling, like floating? There you go. Okay.
Yeah, Marcus, the garage sale will be Sunday. Anything else? This is your last attempt to try to get canceled, so make it good.
Oh, men are better than women. Does that get me canceled? Does that gives us enough clout to go over 500?
No, I think that being said is now that, but what I'm about to say,
Ooh, space
that's
racism.
that's just a given because we're good at everything. Thanks to the chat.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate you guys. Where was Mark's comment? Yeah, just get it done for me, Mark, and send it to me in an email, and we'll have that. Other than that, I think that's it. Love you guys for coming out. I think the space racism one is coming soon.
Excellent.
Right? You think we put it off long enough?
No, I think we can put it off for, I don't know, indefinitely until we hit maybe 666 subscribers. Then we hit the most evil thing in the universe, space racism.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. I'm at 478 now. Race to 500 is going. Spread the word. Get the stuff out about me, and yeah, we'll catch you guys later.
And if you're a lady or a gay man, spread them legs. Bye bye.
I should have hit that. I should have hit the intro quicker.
Yes.
Fuck, you guys already saw it? Let me see it. Oh! Shit! Oh! Y'all see that?
So, Tyler, do you want to build a snowman to plow away all night? It doesn't have to be a snowman. It can be me.
I'll be clipping that too.